Have you been feeling a little tired, maybe a little sluggish lately? It's not just you. It's an issue for many people at this time of year in particular. After spending summer months traveling and trying to make the most of the extended daylight hours, many of us are in need of a September sleep schedule reset. Dr. Emerson Wickwire joins us now with some advice. He's a professor of psychiatry at the University of Maryland and the sleep medicine section head at the University of Maryland Midtown Medical Center. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to start.
Pleasure to be here.
I'm going to start with a question that I really don't want to hear the answer because I know I am failing miserably, but how much sleep do we actually need?
It depends on our age. For adults who at this time of day are most of our listeners and viewers, the minimum quantity of sleep for optimal health and daytime function is 7 to 8 hours. And of course, that means that we need to plan and prepare to spend more time than simply 7 hours in bed, because it takes us a little while to fall asleep and we're awake a little bit in the middle of the night and so forth.
Okay, so my part B to that, and I got to tell you, I looked across the newsroom here, and all I heard, there's all these people shaking their heads like, that's not going to happen. So then my next question is, if you can't get that amount of sleep, can you do things to at least improve the quality of the sleep that you do get?
There are two parts to the answer. It's a great question. The first is that despite significant investment and research opportunities to sleep faster, in other words, to function on less than 7 to 8 hours of sleep, we simply haven't solved that problem yet. So the myth of getting by on less sleep in any sort of long-term way is just that. It's a myth. We are biologically hardwired to crave sleep, and there are a number of reasons why sleep is so important for a healthy body and a calm mind. The second part of your question is, how do I compensate? Let's say that it's a particularly busy time at work or I'm traveling across time zones. And in these situations, there are several things that we can do if you'd like to hear those.
All right, I would. Let's hear it.
The first is called sleep banking. And what this means is we want to oversleep as a preparatory or preventative mechanism. If you know that you're traveling abroad across multiple time zones, or if you know that you're going to have a major project due next Monday and have a busy weekend, one of the strategies that we employ is sleep banking. Sleep is just like putting money in the bank. It builds interest. And so by oversleeping in a prophylactic way, we can minimize the negative consequences of not getting enough sleep.
Okay, that sounds good. And what can people do then, I guess, in order to feel sort of more awake in the morning? Because sometimes it happens to me where you actually do get 7 or 8 hours sleep and you almost feel like you overslept because you feel groggy when you get up.
That's right. And there are a number of reasons why that might be the case. The number one factor when we are feeling sleepy in the morning or not feeling as refreshed as we might is simply not getting enough sleep. Now, you asked about sleep quality, and sleep timing is very important, particularly this time of year when, depending on where you live in the United States, your clock will set back a little bit later in the fall. Mm-hmm. Light, movement, and judicious use of caffeine are three strategies to help you feel more awake and alert in the mornings. One strategy that I use with patients frequently is reward yourself for getting up and out of bed. If your favorite breakfast is a cup of English tea or toast with strawberry jam, make that a priority in your mornings. Pat yourself on the back.
Let me ask you a question. You know, there's all these sort of apps, and I'm a bit of a gadget girl. There's all these apps and gadgets that sort of say that they kind of chronicle your sleep and the quality of your sleep. What do you make of these things? Can they really tell you how well you're sleeping?
I think that wearables are a part of the future. It is one of the pillars, a generational challenge almost, to integrate devices, direct-to-consumer kinds of devices like you're describing as a gadget girl, into healthcare. Now, the fact is that we don't yet know the optimal ways to do that. Each of the wearable devices, and there are many, as you know, have advantages and disadvantages, but we haven't yet figured out the best ways to incorporate that data in a meaningful way into healthcare. One thing to think about is it's just like steps. If being a gadget girl and staying dialed into your mobile device and your wearable and so forth helps you, for example, get more sleep or establish a consistent wake time, go for it. That's a wonderful outcome and exactly the kind of result that we'd be hoping for. On the other hand, sometimes individuals, particularly patients, can become so preoccupied with what the device is telling them that it actually becomes problematic. We call this an insomnogenic effect.
I can see that. So I do wear sort of one of those gadgets, and you talk about judicious use of caffeine. I think that's what you said. One of the things that I learned, I was very focused on caffeine. One of the things that I learned is a little bit of alcohol, a little spot of wine. It may make you drowsy initially, but but the impact on my sleep is actually really, really bad.
You're not alone, and people are always so disappointed to learn this. Alcohol decreases sleep latency. In other words, there's no question alcohol makes you fall asleep faster. Unfortunately, after that, alcohol ruins almost everything about your sleep for two primary reasons. One, it relaxes the muscles in the upper airway, meaning that we are more likely to snore and have fragmented sleep associated with poor breathing quality. And of course, we're not aware of that at all because we're sleeping. The second thing that alcohol does is it changes the way our brain oscillates in and out of deeper and shallower stages of sleep. So I'm sorry to disappoint our audience, but when you enjoy, or if you choose to enjoy a glass of wine, make sure you give yourself a buffer zone and your sleep will thank you for it.
I think that's really interesting, and everybody can Google sort of all the tips and, have a cooler bedroom and make sure you turn off your devices. We all know that stuff already, but you gave us a little additional information that we really appreciate. Dr. Emerson Wickwire, thank you.
My pleasure.